From out here, space looks peaceful, quiet, mostly empty, a soft scattering of stars across the dark. It is a misleading kind of calm. Scattered across the universe are places so violent that the word dangerous barely covers them. Places where the ordinary rules get turned all the way up, where a single second can release more energy than our sun will give off in its entire life. Tonight, we are going to visit a few of them, starting with the merely deadly and working our way up to things that are almost impossible to survive. You are safe here, watching from a distance. Out there, you would not last a second. None of these places are close enough to actually worry about. What is worth feeling is the contrast, just how gentle our own little corner of space turns out to be once you have seen the rest. Our tour starts with a star that is living on borrowed time, a monster called Eta Carinae. It burns fast and it is going to die hard, more than 100 times the mass of the sun, so heavy that its own gravity is slowly winning the fight against it. When a star like this finally gives out, it doesn't fade quietly. It collapses in an instant and explodes as a supernova, one of the brightest blasts in the entire universe. For a few weeks, that single dying star can outshine every other star in its galaxy combined. All 100 billion of them. Stand anywhere near that, and there is nothing left of you to find. The blast would destroy a planet whole, and you would not even have to be close. A supernova going off within about 100 light years of Earth could strip away our ozone and flood the surface with enough radiation to trigger a mass extinction. A star we can barely pick out with the naked eye, ending a world it never knew existed. But here's the twist. We owe our lives to these explosions, the iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones, the oxygen in your next breath. Almost all of it was made inside a dying star and thrown out across space by a blast exactly like this one. The most dangerous places in the universe are also where we came from. From one lonely dying star, let's go somewhere impossibly crowded, the very heart of our galaxy. Out here in the suburbs, stars are lonely things, trillions of kilometers apart. Down at the galactic center, it is a different world. Millions of stars packed almost shoulder to shoulder, in a region where, if Earth lived there, the night sky would blaze with countless suns and never truly go dark. Gorgeous to look at. Also the kind of neighborhood that would kill you in a dozen different ways. From the punishing radiation to stars passing close enough to fling one another across space. And right in the middle, holding the whole galaxy together, is 4 million suns worth of mass crushed into a single point. A supermassive black hole called Sagittarius A. We will get to what black holes actually do a bit later. Now the opposite extreme, something almost too small to believe. When a heavy star dies, it sometimes leaves behind a core so tightly compressed that the whole thing is squeezed into a ball about the size of a city, 20 kilometers across, give or take. This is a neutron star, and this one is called the Vela pulsar. Just about the densest object you can stand near without it turning into a black hole. How dense? A single teaspoon of it would weigh around 10 million tons. Its gravity is billions of times stronger than Earth's, so strong that if you fell in, you would be stretched into a thin thread and smeared across the surface long before you landed. The Vela pulsar also spins, like many of them do. Some turn hundreds of times a second, sweeping beams of radiation around like a lighthouse gone mad. We call those pulsars, and an ordinary neutron star, believe it or not, is the calm version. This is a magnetar, SGR 180620 to give it its name, a neutron star wrapped in the strongest magnetic field anywhere in the known universe. That field is so strong that if you drifted within about 1,000 kilometers, it would start pulling apart the atoms in your body. You would not be crushed or burned. You would just come apart, quietly, piece by piece, and it does not even need you nearby. Back in 2004, a single flare from this exact star crossed 50,000 light years of empty space, about half the width of our galaxy, and still hit Earth hard enough to shake our upper atmosphere and blind a few satellites. In 1/10 of a second, it released more energy than the sun gives off in 100,000 years, something the size of a city reaching halfway across the galaxy to hit our planet. If one ever went off within 10 light years of us, that would be the end of life on Earth. Not every danger out here announces itself. Some of them travel in complete silence. Scattered through the galaxy are black holes with no star, no bright disk, nothing to give them away. Just the dark, drifting remains of stars that died long ago. They wander between the stars, alone, invisible. You would never see one coming. The only sign is the way the light behind it bends, ever so slightly, as it passes. We think there could be millions of them roaming our galaxy right now. Most will drift for billions of years and touch nothing at all. But if one ever wandered close to a solar system, it would not need to hit a thing. Its gravity alone could pull the planets loose and send them tumbling into the endless dark. a killer you would never even see. Somewhere out there, one is drifting right now. Every place we have visited so far is the corpse of a single dead star. The next one runs on something far hungrier. This is a quasar called 3C273, the first one we ever found. At its center sits a supermassive black hole, like the one in our galaxy, except this one is eating. Gas and whole stars spiral in, heat up, and shine so brightly that a single quasar can outshine an entire galaxy of hundreds of billions of stars. We can see them from billions of light years away. And it does not just glow. A quasar fires huge jets of plasma out of its poles at almost the speed of light, beams that reach across thousands of light years. Anything caught in one of those jets is not in danger, it is just gone. This is what happens when a black hole stops sitting quietly in the dark and starts to roar. And that brings us to the most violent single event the universe can produce, the gamma ray burst. When a truly enormous star collapses, or two neutron stars crash together, you get a flash of radiation so intense that for a few seconds, it outshines everything around it. In that moment, it releases more energy than the sun will make in its entire 10 billion year life. All of it squeezed into two narrow beams, fired in opposite directions like searchlights. The good news is, those beams are thin and the universe is huge, so the chance of one lining up with Earth is very small. But if one did point at us, distance would not help much. A gamma ray burst within a few thousand light years, aimed our way, could tear apart our ozone in seconds and burn the entire side of the planet facing it. Some scientists think this may have already happened once, long ago, that a burst from across the galaxy helped trigger one of the great mass extinctions, hundreds of millions of years ago. A shot fired by a dying star that never even knew we were here. And for our final stop, we come back to the one place nothing ever leaves. A black hole is where gravity has simply won, where matter has collapsed so completely that not even light is fast enough to escape. Cross its edge, the line we call the event horizon, and the universe quietly shuts the door behind you. No way back, no message home ever. Fall toward a smaller one and something strange happens on the way down. The pull on your feet becomes so much stronger than the pull on your head that you are stretched into a long, thin thread. Scientists actually call this spaghettification. Stranger still, from a safe distance, no one would even see you fall in. Your clock would seem to slow down and you would appear to freeze at the edge, slowly fading from view. The biggest ones weigh billions of suns and can swallow a whole star without a pause. The largest we have ever found is a giant called TON 618, holding tens of billions of suns in a single dark point. Whatever falls in takes its secrets with it, and we may never know what is down there. So there they are, a few of the most dangerous places the universe has to offer. Dying stars, magnetic monsters, roaring quasars, and black holes. It is easy to find all of this a little frightening, but there is another way to see it. Every one of these places is the universe doing its most extreme work, making the atoms we are built from, bending space and time in ways we are still trying to understand. And here we are, sitting in a calm, quiet corner of an ordinary galaxy, far from the worst of it, close enough to study all of it, far enough to still be here. Looked at that way, our little blue world might just be the safest place in the universe. Thanks for coming along on the tour. There is a lot more out there still waiting, so stick around and I will see you in the next one.